What do you know about chef's hats? Imagine the chefs in a fancy restaurant's kitchen. What kind of uniforms are they wearing? Not only white jackets or aprons, but also tall white hats are commonly found. The official name for this hat is a toque, and it has a long and interesting history. Toques date back to the 7th century BC in Assyria. The Assyrian royal family was always in danger of being poisoned, so the king had their most loyal cooks wear hats that looked like smaller copies of the royal crown. This showed their special status and loyalty. The credit for the modern toque design goes to famous French chef Marie-Antoine Carême. He first wore one in 1821. The white color was a symbol of the cleanliness that is expected in kitchens. Toques keep chefs' hair and sweat out of their eyes and out of the food. The whole chef's uniform provides protection when chefs are splashed by hot items. It's also easy to see spills on white uniforms, so chefs can maintain cleanliness by changing into fresh ones.
Today's warm-up quiz is Tom never asked for blank for his help, but everyone still appreciated what he did. A. Faith. B. Honesty. C. Humor. D. Credit.
You have 15 seconds to think about it. Time's up.
Hello everyone, welcome to English for You. I am Mike.
I am Claire.
And today we have a question that I bet you no one has ever asked you before. And if they have, I would love to know the situation. But it's a question we will be asking and even better answering in our two-day article. Are you ready for one of the weirdest questions ever? What do you know about chef's hats? If someone asked me that question, I would kind of be like, me?
Yeah.
Me? Why are you asking me this question? But once you ask it, you kind of go, not a lot, but they're weird.
Right.
I mean, they are weird, right? So we're going to answer the question and kind of explain why they're weird.
Okay, 所以我们今天要讨论的是100折的厨师帽。
So here, imagine the chefs in a fancy restaurant's kitchen. You might have seen them in real life, through the doors as they bring out your food or something. Or, of course, we've seen, cooking shows and shows about restaurants. So, those fancy hats that they wear. Imagine those. What kind of uniforms are they wearing? Usually they're white.
Right.
Right? I mean, hopefully they're clean. But yeah, so they do definitely wear special clothes, don't they?
Okay, 所以谁是 chef 呢？ chef 他就是餐厅的主厨或是厨师。那可能各位知道会是 cook。那 cook 跟 chef 差在哪里？就是 chef, I mean, they are better, right? They are usually like the leader of the whole cooking team.
That's the idea. I always say if your food costs more than 1,000 NT, it was made by a chef.
Oh, yeah, true.
If it's cheaper than that, it's probably a cook.
Yeah. 好，那再帮各位补充另外一个跟它讲的很像，但是意思完全不一样，然后发音也不一样的字哦，它会是 chief, C-H-I-E-F。很多学生以为这两个是同样的东西，其实是不一样的。这个 chief 有一个 I 的呢，它是一个名词，代表长官或是领导人。So for example, a police chief, 警察局局长。
Yes, but there is a relationship. Actually, the word chef is also the French word for boss, right? So any company would say, mon chef, my boss wants me to work on Saturday. But it's also, the boss of the kitchen. So, it's the same kind of word. The boss, the leader, the chief, the chef. So let's find out all about their uniforms. What's a uniform?
So uniform 呢 ，uni 是统一的意思嘛。好，那大家都穿一样的东西，就会是制服。
When was the last time I wore a uniform? School. We had school uniforms.
Right. You want to reveal your age already?
No, I'm just saying school uniform. Sports, sometimes, on a team, or maybe at a job, certain jobs.
Right.
You have to wear a uniform. And yeah, that's the kind of thing we're talking about. Chef uniforms, the uniforms of people in these nice restaurants in the kitchen. It says not only white jackets or aprons, sure, white pants sometimes black or other colors, but yeah, white jackets, white aprons, but also these tall white hats are commonly found. That's a pretty normal thing or a common thing to find or see on the head of a chef.
Okay, 所以在这边呢，我们看到了今天的文法。Let's take a look. 我们今天的 language in focus 会是对等连接词当主词的用法，它是用来连接两个词性相同的单字或是结构对等的词组。比如说我们在文章里面看到这句 Not only white aprons but also tall white hats， 前后呢都是一个形容词加名词的词组嘛。不过要小心的是连接两个主词时的动词变化，比如说Both my cat and my dog follow me everywhere. 这边的动词呢是 follow， 是复数名词搭配的原形动词哦。但是如果用的是 not only A but also B 的话呢，或是 neither A nor B， 它的动词形态会随着比较接近的那个 B 去做变化。比如说 Not only my sister but also my friends don't eat meat。离动词位置比较近的是 my friends 嘛，所以得搭配 don't eat。假设如果我把主词对调 Not only my friends but my sister， 这边呢离动词比较近的就变成 my sister 了，所以后面呢会加的是 doesn't eat。 Not only my friends but my sister doesn't eat meat。
So yes, chefs and cooks and pretty much anyone who might be working with food can wear an apron. And an apron is basically just a protective covering worn while cooking. It kind of hangs around your neck. It covers the front of your clothes. It ties around the back. It's not a coat or a jacket or anything like that. It's easy to put on, easy to take off, easy to wash, and it will just cover the front of your clothes from splashes and, stuff like that. For example, for Christmas, Daniel's wife got him an apron that says, "Kiss the cook" on the front. Isn't that cute?
Okay, so apron 呢，它就是一个名词，就是围裙啦。Another example sentence: Lisa wore a cute pink apron while baking cookies, but it still couldn't stop her from getting chocolate on her face.
Yeah, the apron can't cover your face. You'd make a lot more mess if you couldn't see what you were doing. All right, so yes, they have the apron. And then that hat. Let's talk about that hat. The official name for this hat is a toque, and it has a long and interesting history. It sure does.
Okay, 所以这个 toque 呢，它就是指无边的厨师帽。So there's actually a movie, Ratatouille.
Yes.
So, right. So if you know the movie, the hat the chef wears, even the
toque,
the rat,
yeah.
It's called toque.
Yeah, it's kind of hiding under his toque, isn't it? It's kind of teaching him and showing him how to cook in that movie. Yeah, toques, it says, have a very, very long history. I would never have guessed this. Toques date back to the 7th century BC in Assyria. Not like 150 years ago in Paris, France. 7th century BC. So this is like the 600 BC. So what, 2,600 years ago in Assyria in the Middle East. Very interesting.
所以这个时间呢，就会是在西元前的亚瑟时期，很久很久以前了。所以我们常常呢会用 date back to something 来表示时间追溯到什么时候。So for example, this temple dates back to more than 300 years ago.
Very, very old. Now, what was going on in Assyria back then for the chefs to have these hats? It says the Assyrian royal family was always in danger of being poisoned. Well, yeah, back in the old days, and maybe even now, powerful people had enemies, and one way to kill a king would be to put some poison in their food. The royal family, the king, the queen, the princes, the princesses, the people who run the country, they had enemies, so they were in danger of, this was something that they had to face. I mean, a bodyguard, right? Soldiers could stop a guy from attacking you with a sword, but what if they just put a bit of poison?
Yeah, it's easier.
They put a little poison on your dates or in your favorite tabbouleh salad. And then you start, dying, and that's not good.
Right. Even in our Chinese history, like 甄嬛传啊什么之类的，很常就是会毒死那个你想要陷害的人嘛。好，所以这边呢看到 in danger of VING something 就会是处于做某件事情的危险中，所以这个字 danger 就是从 dangerous 来的，它是一个形容词转换成名词 danger. So for example, the company is in danger of losing its biggest client if it doesn't improve its service.
Oh yeah, they should stop poisoning that client. That's bad service. All right, back to the article. So here's the king of Assyria. He's afraid that someone will put poison in his food, which was a real danger. So what did he do? The king had their most loyal cooks wear hats that looked like smaller copies of the royal crown. Let's talk about this word crown. All right, here we have this word crown. Not only would the king wear the crown, but apparently these hats looked like a crown, which is basically what a king, queen, a prince, or a princess might wear. It's a special hat. It won't be a hat to keep you warm or to keep your head dry when it's raining. It's a hat probably that's shiny, made of some special metal like gold. It might have diamonds and jewels and other things on it. It's the kind of thing a king or queen will wear. Probably not all the time, but on special occasions for, special holidays or things like that. So basically, it's the type of special hat that a king or queen or whoever wears to show how important and also probably how rich they are. For example, the queen placed a crown on her son's head, officially making him a prince.
我们看到 loyal 这个形容词表示忠贞的或是忠心的。For example, a loyal customer. If you always buy this kind of products at this specific shop, you are definitely a loyal customer, 很忠实的顾客。好，那另外一个单字呢是 crown， 就会是名词皇冠的意思。So for example, the queen's crown was decorated with rare diamonds, making it the most valuable piece in the royal collection.
Ooh, fancy, fancy. All right, back to the article. The special hats, this showed the chefs, this showed their special status and loyalty. They were in charge of the king's food. And since, the king could die with poison in his food, they had kind of a very special position. Like the people who would guard the king's bedroom when he slept at night or something like that. A very special status in the whole royal palace.
Right, 所以他们就得到了这个很特别的地位。地位呢的英文就是 status， 那 social status 我们常常说社会地位嘛，就会常常会跟 social 放在一起。那这边呢看到我们刚刚 loyal 的名词 loyalty 会是忠诚或是忠贞。For example, the loyalty of the fans was clear when they waited outside the stadium in the pouring rain.
Just to get a picture or, autograph from their favorite singer or whoever. Yes, good loyalty there. All right, so now let's move way closer to our time in history. It says the credit for the modern toque design, the ones we see today in restaurants. So the credit for the modern toque design goes to famous French chef Marie-Antoine Carême. He's the guy who gets the credit for inventing the modern one or giving the shape to the modern one. When we give credit, basically we're sort of saying, this is the person that did it. And it's usually for a good thing. So if you do something good, you'll get credit. If you do something bad, you'll get blame. Right? So if you're a hero and you save someone, they say, well done you. We're going to give you a medal, a prize. Put your face in the newspaper, you get credit. If you rob a bank or do something bad, you will get blame and you'll get in trouble and people say, boo, we don't like you for that reason. So someone does something well and you say, hey, good job, you, well done. You're getting credit for what you did. For example, the whole team deserves lots of credit for winning the tough game. It wasn't just one player, it was everyone. Good job, everyone. Well done.
OK， 所以这个 credit 呢是一个名词 ，Mike 刚刚就有说它是只有指好的事情哦，就是你的功劳、赞扬或是称赞。那我们常常会搭配 credit for doing something， 就会是做某件事情的功劳。那这边是不是有点熟悉呢？开头的 quiz 就说到 Tom never asked for blank for his help, but everyone still appreciated what he did. 好，所以这边看到 A faith 是信仰、信念的意思 ，B honesty 是诚实 ，C humor 是幽默 ，D credit 好，它就是正确的选项嘛。虽然说他没有希望大家都是说哦你好棒哦你好棒哦，但是呢大家都非常对他非常感谢，然后把这个感恩的心给他这样子。虽然说他不邀功。好，那另外呢这边看到片语 go to somebody or go to something 就会是被给予。So for example, the first prize went to a shy student who didn't expect to win.
Oh, well, he should get a lot of credit for doing so well. Now, the modern toque, yeah, much more modern than the 7th century BC. He first, that's Chef Carême, he first wore one in 1821. So still 200 years ago, but much more modern, obviously, than way back in ancient Assyria. And it also says the white color was a symbol of the cleanliness that is expected in kitchens. Yeah, that's right. The early toques looked more like the royal crown. So maybe they weren't white, but the modern ones, and the ones, of course, we still see today from Marie-Antoine Carême, they are white. And the white color is a symbol of the cleanliness or the clean that we expect in kitchens, right?
It's a good symbol.
If the chef comes out and his, clothes are covered in blood and sauce and, things like that, you're like, oh, it's not such a clean restaurant, maybe. So kind of like in hospitals, right? We expect the staff, the doctors have nice, clean white coats. And it also says toques, not just symbolizing clean and showing how important they are, but there are real practical reasons, good reasons to have them. Toques keep chefs' hair and sweat out of their eyes and out of the food. Restaurants, kitchens can be very hot places. They're working hard with flame and cooking and grilling and frying. And so it keeps the sweat that might come off them and the hair that might fall into your food. It helps to keep it out of the food.
OK, 所以非常的实用，它可以阻止就是在炒菜的时候啊，那些流汗啊跟头发之类的，它都可以因为这个 toque 而不会跑到我们的食物里面去。
Yeah, and in the same way, in a night market, they might tie something around, they might wear a baseball cap, all kind of doing the same job, just with a different shape. But that classic chef uniform, it says the whole chef's uniform, so the white coat, the apron, all that stuff, the whole chef's uniform provides protection when chefs are splashed by hot items. Have you ever worked in a kitchen?
No.
You get burned a lot.
Yeah,
I worked in a kitchen as a teenager and I had burns all over my arms and hands and stuff like that, and you might cut yourself as well. All right, we had this word protection, talking about how their clothes give them protection from, things getting on their clothes or burning them. To protect is to keep yourself safe from some kind of danger. You might wear a helmet on a motorcycle to give you protection or to protect your head if you fall off and bang your head. So the noun form of to protect, to stop from getting damage or hurt, is protection. That helmet is for protection. The seatbelt is for protection. We put smoke detectors in houses if there's a fire for protection from that fire, to give you warning if there is danger or something like that. Or even simple things that can't hurt you that bad. For example, people in Taiwan often use umbrellas for protection from both sun and rain. The umbrella will stop the rain from getting on your hair or will stop the sun from making you hot. And here, though, of course, with chefs, with cooks, with anyone in a kitchen, you want protection from splashes. And a splash is to make something wet or other things by kind of knocking or throwing water or mud or something sticky, something you don't want on you. And we're not really throwing it, we're kind of hitting it or dropping it or having it fly out in often small amounts. So that's a splash. Okay, and if you're in a swimming pool, you might splash water on your friends. If you're pouring water into a cup and you miss the cup, it might hit the table or something and splash. And that's okay if it's water, but if it's oil, if it's tomato juice or something and you get it on your nice white shirt, that's not so good. It can cause problems. So that would be a splash. Small, big, but you're kind of pushing or throwing amounts of water. Here's another example. In rain, as we sat waiting for the bus, a car went by and splashed us with muddy water. Oh, great.
好，所以我们看到这个字 protection， 它就是一个名词，保护的意思。So another example, the insurance policy provides protection in case of accidental loss of life or serious injury. 好，那我们刚刚有看到 splash 这个字，它是一个动词，就是溅或是泼。
And another reason that they're white, it says it's also easy to see spills on white uniforms. So if you get the uniform dirty, it's very easy to see that it's dirty and you can,
I have to change it.
Change it and wash it. It also tells us, the customers, if the kitchen is clean or not, because they can't really hide it. And this is for spills. A spill is similar to a splash, but a splash is that liquid kind of flying in some kind of way, right? Being thrown some kind of way. The spill might just be what's left. So if I miss pouring something into a cup, there could be a splash, but there will still be some of that water on the table or on the floor. That's a spill, and we'll often wipe it up or dry it up or something like that. And we can also use this as the verb. To sort of not pour carefully is to spill, and that what is left there on the table is the spill. For example, Felicity used a sponge to wipe up a spill on the kitchen counter because she wanted to keep it clean and dry.
可以，所以这个 spill 呢，它是一个名词，可以当洒出来的量或是溢出来的东西。好 ，so for example, you can ask, "Could you wipe up that spill, please?"
All right, back to the article. So it says chefs can maintain or keep cleanliness, keep clean by changing into fresh ones. If they see they're dirty, go get another jacket, another apron, whatever, and you'll be nice and clean again.
Right, 所以这边的 once 它是代替前面的那句 white uniforms。好，那如果不想错过更多精彩的 English for You 内容，就快点订阅我们的 YouTube 频道和追踪 Facebook 吧。
All right, a quick chat question here. What kinds of workers wear uniforms at their jobs, or what other kinds wear uniforms, and what do the uniforms look like?
Okay, we've got police officers.
Oh yeah, they wear uniforms, most of them.
Yeah, they usually wear dark blue and black uniforms with badges, right? And belts and sometimes hats so that people can recognize them easily.
Good one.
And also construction workers.
Okay, that's kind of a uniform.
Right. They usually wear bright vests and helmets and work boots for visibility and protection.
Good examples. And I'm sure you guys can think of many others, so you can have a chat about that. And we'll be back next time with more about fancy toques and the chefs who wear them. Vocabulary Review.
Apron. Every time Dad cooks, he always wears the same white apron over his clothes to protect them. Crown. When Cindy dressed as a princess for Halloween, she wore a crown and a beautiful dress. Credit. Veronica should get the credit for this project. It was all her idea. Protection. Henry wore a pair of gloves for protection while he handled the hot pot. Splash. A wave splashed Peter and made his clothes wet while he stood near the sea. Spill. Billy knocked over his drink, so his mother told him to clean up his spill.
智慧小补帖。
Chef. Toque. Loyal. Status. Cleanliness.
掌握最新时事主题，立即下载空中美语 App， 免费收听当期完整杂志。